this ruling will strengthen all of our communities by offering to all loving same-sex couples the dignity of marriage across this great land.
Is this Jim?
Yes, it is, Mr. President.
Jim, I figured when I saw you that we were going to be hoping for some good news, and we did. I just wanted to say congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir. I think it was your wishes.
Your leadership on this, has changed the country.
I really appreciate that, Mr. President. It's really been an honor for me to be involved in this fight and to have been able to, fight for my marriage and live up to my commitments to my husband. So I appreciate everything you've done for the LGBT community, and it's really an honor to have become part of that fight.
I couldn't be prouder of you and your husband. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. That means an incredible amount to me, and yeah, thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thanks for the call, Mr. President.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The allegation made by Larry Sinclair of drugs and oral sex with Barack Obama. The Globe, an American tabloid, has come out with its second edition on this story. The headline, Obama caught up in gay murder probe. Pastor James Manning has come forward and made allegations which back up Larry Sinclair's that Barack Obama is homosexual.
Obama is a homosexual. They're able to manage the press in such a way and public opinion in such a way as to, even though these things are well known, they're able to squash it in such a way as to make the people who come out and make statements look foolish.
Jerry Corsi.
Hey, Jerome Corsi, it's Brian Craig. We have an interview scheduled with you. How are you?
Yeah. Hey.
All right, well, here we go. Well, listen, my name is Brian Craig. We're speaking with Jerome Corsi, and I got to tell you, Jerome Corsi, the first time I really started following Jerome Corsi was back during the Swift Boat era with John Kerry, who's back in the news again as the man who prepped Barack Obama for that performance last
pretty amazing, isn't it?
But I got to tell you, Jerome Corsi, I read your columns all the time in WorldNet Daily. Of course, I'm familiar with your books. You've been doing some incredible investigative reporting when it comes to Barack Obama and Trinity Church, which of course is Reverend Jeremiah Wright's church, and you've come out with some very controversial things. One of them sounds very crazy, but when you put the puzzle pieces together, it sounds incredibly credible. You have a new column. You've talked about Jesse Jackson actually arranged the marriage between Barack and Michelle Obama.
Yes.
Now, tell us about that, and also what's the significance of that?
Okay, well, first of all, the whole issue that I'm investigating, just to get right to it, has been the issues that Obama is homosexual. This has been a rumor since I started investigating Obama back to 2006. Mm-hmm. And of course, I never had any of the evidence for it, so it was never anything without full evidentiary ability to prove a statement like that. It's not something you would publish. What's changed is that in recent months, members of Trinity United Church who know Obama's personally, have begun to talk. Mm-hmm. So, this article about Jesse Jackson really explores the fact that who is Michelle, and it shows that basically one of the reasons that Barack Obama joined Trinity Church was because Trinity Church, Reverend Wright runs what he calls a Down Low Club. And what the Down Low Club means is black members of the congregation who have sex with men but are not living homosexual lives, yet arranged marriages with women in the congregation who might not otherwise be married, in order to cover up their sexuality, their bisexuality or their homosexuality. Now, I traced Michelle Robinson, who was Michelle Obama, the wife of the president, and that she was very close to Jesse Jackson. She was close to Jesse Jackson's daughter, Santita. In fact, the Jacksons have said, well, they carpooled to high school together. But the story, as it turns out, is that Michelle Robinson spent so much time with the Jesse Jackson family in Chicago, with Santita and her brother Jesse Jr., who's the current congressman, that they call the Jackson children call Michelle Sis, short for sister, and so they're very close together. Now, as I trace it back, it all goes to the orbit, between Jesse Jackson and his influence in the Democratic Party, key operatives, together with Reverend Wright, who's run this down low club. And I started getting on to the fact that Obama was lying about his relationship with Michelle, because Obama told a couple different stories. When Obama was in Moscow in 2009, he said, well, he and Michelle met at school. But of course, Michelle Obama got her degree from Harvard Law School in 1988. Barack Obama did not arrive at Harvard Law School until that fall, and he graduated 3 years later in 1991. The commonly accepted story is that they met in Chicago at the end of Obama's first year in law school, when he was an intern at a firm called Sidley Austin, and Michelle was also a lawyer at the firm, and she was assigned to be his mentor. Now, this gets to be a tangled web, because I interviewed also Alan Hulton, the postal carrier, who delivered mail to the Ayers, the parents of Weather Undergrounder bomber Bill Ayers, and he met Obama when he was an intern at Sidney Austin, and basically said that the reason the Sidney Austin firm came into this thing was because Sidley Austin was a firm that did a lot of work for Commonwealth Edison, the electric company in Chicago, that Bill Ayers' father was the chairman. Now, the Obama and Michelle got engaged in 1991. And while they were engaged, Valerie Jarrett, now in the White House as Obama's advisor, she was Deputy Chief of Staff to Mayor Richard Daley, and Valerie Jarrett hired Michelle into the mayor's office. She hated working there. She was not, it was a patronage job, and evidently Michelle did not do very much work. She just collected a paycheck. The report is Michelle sat there and read a newspaper all day long. Well, the political connections continued. Michelle's father, Fraser Robinson III, who Michelle talked about at the convention, who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and he walked around with crutches, was also a volunteer Democratic precinct captain in South Chicago, and he had a lot of street money that the Daily Machine handed out, Chicago South Side, for black voters to turn out and vote for the Democratic Party machine. And so, as it comes along, you get Jesse Jackson, Valerie Jarrett, Jeremiah Wright, and a whole bunch of them are putting Michelle together to be the wife of Obama as an arranged marriage. Now, and the idea was that Michelle, who kind of has a nasty disposition, and is not exactly the kind of thing that is the kind of woman that all heterosexual men are going to be immediately attracted to live with as a wife.
That's for sure.
Well, then you got Obama saying, basically more interested sexually in men. So it makes the match possible. Michelle gets out of it. She looks the part. Obama's not interested in her for sex, but she gets a life of luxury and wealth if he succeeds politically.
Yeah.
So, as this goes along, Valerie Jarrett continues to promote Michelle in cushy jobs. Valerie Jarrett, went to Chicago's Department of Planning. She took Michelle with her. Then she became the chairwoman of the Chicago Medical Center, and Michelle got another cushy job at the Chicago Medical Center. She was making $317,000 a year, and again, not doing very much for it. So you've got a lot of evidence here which shows the network of people, Jesse Jackson, Valerie Jarrett, Reverend Wright, explaining how Obama and Michelle got together, and the backstory being that, this is an arranged marriage to cover up Obama's homosexual activity, and what Michelle gets out of it is a lot of money and a life of luxury as he advances politically.
Well, we're talking with Jerome Corsi, New York Times best-selling author, and you're a senior columnist over and investigative reporter at WorldNet Daily. I don't miss any of your columns.
I've done a lot of research on Obama and Trinity Church. And, the understory of Trinity Church is that Reverend Wright has run this Down Low Club, and, I'm sure listeners will know Down Low Club is the black homosexual cover where men who, in the African-American community, do not want to live a gay life, but yet are bisexual or are inclined to be so, will have sex with men, but not consider that makes them then homosexual. And that's the Down Low Club, and Reverend Wright was the organizer of that in the church. We know that 2 gay members of Trinity Church were killed suspiciously as Barack Obama came to power and was running, for president. We have Larry Sinclair, who claims to have had a homosexual relationship with Barack Obama.
I actually spoke with him once.
Well, I've spoken to Larry many times.
He's a very believable guy.
Well, he's got details, and he's very credible. He, lacks photographic evidence at the time, but, that's about all he lacks in terms of the story. And the stories of Barack Obama participating in the gay community in Chicago are rampant. Of course, I get castigated for even mentioning it, but, I've interviewed, others have interviewed, many in Chicago who openly testify that it was a known fact. Barack Obama's testified to his use of cocaine. He won't say when he stopped, although he says it was sometime in college, vaguely. Most people who use drugs are not reliable and self-reporting when they stopped. That's why they drug test athletes. And Barack Obama, again, has had marijuana and cocaine. When did he exactly start using them? Did he ever deal them or sell them? We never get that question answered. What is being swept under the rug is and I've gone in, I've reported on it, all that's said on Obama openly by many people in Chicago, his involvement with Resco, his involvement with bribes, his involvement with the governor who's now in jail, all the goings on in Trinity Church, these 2 murders, these 2 African-American gay members of Trinity Church have never been solved. The mother of one of them believes that Barack Obama was involved. I mean, the entire background of Barack Obama, stories of Barack Obama living on his credit cards, that his wife was ready to divorce him, Michelle was ready to divorce him, the closeness with the Jackson family, with Jesse Jackson's family, and the son who's now in prison. These are stories which, again, are inconvenient to the Obama mythology, which is a mythology that's largely based on lies.